Anyway, trade deadline, huh? Let's do that. I think it's too low for the Peck. Unless it's like lower Peck. I don't know. Until it bruises up like Cody Rhodes, then I can't even be like, hey, look how cool this is. Anyway, we kind of know what we want to do with the deadline. So let's see what we can do here. Final game of the deadline, or before the deadline against Boston. No idea if we beat them or not, and it's fine. Jason Robertson's available, which LOL. Our old pal Lucas Colborne is available. Interesting. Really? Our old pal, deadline rental extraordinaire, Lucas Colborne. Granted, we paired him with Darnell Nurse. We know how good this guy is in the playoffs. We know how good he is. We know defense is the biggest area of need. If we can get Colorado to retain salary, we go all in for this guy. We go all in. Again, left side, we have Ackerman if need be. We need a right side defender. We have goalies to pull this off as well. Won't be Cochran, because that guy's insane. It could be Rita, though, because Cochran essentially pushes Rita into irrelevant territory. It could also be Erickson, although Erickson does have abilities. So I think Rita is definitely on the chopping block for this trade. There is an argument for Erickson. There's an argument for Shoveldave as well, but I want to kind of keep the AHL goaltending the same. Defensively, we know in terms of low ratings there wasn't any, but there was a forward. Del Zotto would be perfect. There's the other low elites I don't want to get rid of. And then at center, we don't really want to get rid of Pratt. But Rita and Del Zotto, how close are we? We can use picks from here. We still have multiple third rounders, of course, because we traded down a lot last year. How close are we if we keep adding third rounders? Will 3 be enough? No. What about a second and a third? Or just a second, apparently. Second and a third? What about one more third? I'll give up the first if I have to. Fuck. All right. First and a third. They'll do it. They'll do it for the first. Rita Del Zotto, our first rounder. And a fourth. It will take a third rounder. If not a fourth and a sixth. So Rita Del Zotto, first, fourth, sixth. To bring back Colborne as in his second tour of duty as a Leafs deadline rental. Done deal. We saw what that guy could do. He is exactly what we needed to bolster up this defense. Because now it can be York, Colborne, Hartman, Bouchard, or, well, yeah, York or Bouchard, Colborne, and Hartman. That's a really good pickup for us. A really, really good pickup for us. And that pretty much gives us enough defensive depth. Colborne's a right D. Cam York, though, is lefty or right D. So we'll play him on either side. From there, we have Pritchett. We have Dika. Pedersen. We technically do have depth that we could call up if need be for the playoffs. I don't know if we need to bring in a McKinnon, a Barkov, because that hasn't necessarily worked. I mean, David Pasternak had his moment. Ooh. 3 years left. We can't get Sandin. He's too expensive. It'd be great, but he's too expensive. Thomas Chabot. We know we can put up points. Can we also land Hot Sam Bacho? Can we also land Hot Sam? Adding Shabbat and Colborne at this deadline would be insane. It would take Eriksson to do it. In terms of trade value. Him or Shovel Dave. Eriksson's a lot less of a guarantee because he's already 21. They do it 1-for-1. We have to do it. They are in desperate need of a project goalie, too. They would do it 1-for-1. We will safety net this. I am aware trading a goalie to Boston is risky, but at least it's not goalie for goalie. Eriksson for Shabbat and a third. I'm doing it. And just like that, our supposed defensive issues, in theory, just went away. York, Colborne, Bouchard, Hartman, Shabbat. And from there, it almost doesn't even matter who is still in the lineup. I think we're good. I think we're good. Cap-wise, especially, it's getting close. Zach Dean for DeVries. Nico Mijatovic. Yeah, shit. Mijatovic could be a decent depth option, too. So, Emerton, Backstrom, Bartovich, which is still good. We do have to sign an AHL goalie now because we just got rid of ours. York, Colborne, Hartman, Shabbat, Bouchard, Ling. Can't send down Roloff or Kostopoulos without sending them through waivers, which is okay. And forward-wise, 11-12 with Benak. So technically, if a forward gets hurt, a defender, at least until the playoffs, will have to play in their spot. Kuba, Bedard, Sador. Okay, so power play as well will have to be fixed later. We are going to go Makala, Kuba, Wellwood, Benak, Bedard, Cooley, Misa, Shantz, Sador, Clapperton, Coleman, and Weeks. That works for me. It is risking Wellwood's development a little bit, though. So maybe not. Maybe we put Kuba on the third pair still. Third line. Defense. York and Colborne. Hartman, Bouchard, Shabbat, Kostopoulos. If this team can't get it done. Got Roloff and Ling. Not that Ling even deserves to get taken out. Or Roloff. They were both really good. But we got to up our chances. And we will start with Bartovich and Backstrom. AHL-wise, again, we're at the point. Just go best lines. Not a big deal. And Casey Shoveldave is actually the only goalie that we're going to play. We're not going to worry about the backup. So, let's finish up this season. We are in line. Also, we beat the Bruins 11-4 the day before the deadline. And UC Makala breaks his hand. First game post-deadline. All right. So it looks to put Caden Ling into the lineup. Don't know if that'll actually happen. Don't know if that will actually happen. I mean, he fits, though. He fits. So Kuba, Bedard, Sador, Wellwood, Cooley, Clapperton, Benak, Shantz. Nope. Benak, Misa, Coleman, Ling, Shantz, Weeks. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. What'd you trade for Bedard? He was not under contract, so we didn't have to give up much. Bunch of prospects, and I think a first-round pick. And then we had to sign him for $17 million. Well, we are continuing to win post-deadline despite the injury to Makela. Let's get Bartovich back in there. Against Philadelphia, gets the win. Cam York approaching the century mark. 50 wins now. Make it 51. Maciej Blumel is on waivers. We'll claim him too to boost up the Marlies. Cam York hits the 100-point mark with 12 games to go. The Bruins, we beat them too. Pete, we'll claim you too. Why not? Just helps fill out the AHL. We've already clinched a playoff spot, obviously. We are very, very close to clinching another division title as we finally lose another game. This one to Detroit. And what about Colorado? We get the win. New York Rangers, we get the win. Still haven't technically clinched the division because Detroit's hanging around there. Still haven't clinched the division despite beating Pittsburgh as we are approaching our second 60-win season in the past 3 years. New Jersey, 6-1 win. Winnipeg, we still haven't clinched the goddamn division somehow on 120 points. We beat Winnipeg. Still haven't clinched the division mathematically. That's insane. Carolina, our first loss in a while. Windows open for the Red Wings, perhaps? We still haven't clinched it. Boston, we win and clinch the top record in the East, and I would imagine the President's Trophy as well. Can we earn win 60 against Montreal? Yes, we can. And can we, for the second time... Well, actually, we had 62 last time, not 61, but our final game of the season is against the Lightning. And Cam York! I was going to say, could he hit 100? He hit 102 in terms of assists. Jesus. An incredible season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 61, 15, and 6. Ottawa with 103 points. So we will be taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. And round number 1, Carolina plays Columbus. The New York Rangers play the Ottawa Senators. And Detroit plays Montreal. Let's go, Montreal. Mr. Webster, good to see you. I'm glad you had an off day for once. How the heck are you? Yanip as well. How did we even get Cam York? I think we acquired him at a deadline. I'm not mistaken. In the West, remember when I said I didn't know if it was worth giving up all the assets for Cam York back in the day? We have Vegas and Anaheim. Vancouver on 98 points, 91 for Edmonton. So I don't know who Vancouver will play. Minnesota will play the week or the two. Dallas plays Arizona. Semi-off day. Flew back this morning. At least that's not a long flight, right? Like, what is that? From Dallas to Vegas? Hour and a half? 2 hours? It's not that bad. I'm 2.5 weeks away from an 8-hour flight, so pray for me. Fucking pray for me. 2.5 hours. Third straight President's Trophy for your Toronto Maple Leafs. Channel Hall of Fame. We did have a Channel Hall of Fame. It's just I missed like once or twice, and then all of a sudden it just snowballed, and it's like, eh. So, we're doing it in Finland in June. Vacation? Working. My lovely friends at SportsGamer. SportsGamer.gg. The finest in the NHL esports scene. 2 weeks already. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's going to be my second time there in 4 months and my third time in a year. It's fucking weird, man. Goals for this season, we were the only team to average more than 4 per game. 342 goals scored. Goals against, just 199. One of 2 teams to allow less than 200. In Helsinki, yes. Indeed, indeed. Bring me with you. Rampage, I wish you were. That's one thing, man, that I kind of hate. It's like, man, not everyone that was there last time is going to be there this time. It is a bit of a bummer. You need to get a visa to go out there to do that. No, shockingly. So we're good to go. Or maybe we did. Maybe I'm not at liberty of talking business. Catcher. We're legal. Don't worry about it. Oh, goodness. What was our power play percentage this year? 27.7. Best power play in the league. And our PK at 85.2% was not the best, but was top 10. Surprise, surprise, signing Connor Bedard worked out really well for us. Jesus Christ. So I'm going to see an article where you get arrested. I think I'll be okay. And if not, hey, Finnish jail is probably better than American jail. I'll take that. I would take, sometimes the thought of Finnish jail versus regular life in the U.S., I think a lot of people would take that trade. I don't know if I necessarily would, but I think a lot of people would. Connor Bedard, our first ever player to break 100 points, and he had 116 with 66 goals. Worth every goddamn penny, Connor. Worth every penny. Especially to get you away from the Coyotes. Oh my God, was that a career season for Connor Bedard? That was literally Connor Bedard's best season ever. His best season ever. And it's his first year here. Unbelievable. What I missed there. Webster, what, for this franchise? Or there were about 3 different conversations going on there at once. Oh yeah, he had an 80-goal season. Logan Cooley, 67 points. Oh, for Bedard? Yeah, he's broken. He's just broken. It's beautiful. Cooley, 67 points, 57 from Michael Misa. Their goal scoring took a massive hit this year because of Connor Bedard. And my favorite form of leg wear, Mateo Shantz, with 28 points, 21 goals on the 4th line, which is beautiful. Left wings, Matches Kuba, 78 points. Very, very good. Remember when we considered trading him for Connor Bedard? Good thing we didn't. 50 points for Wellwood's a bit disappointing. He did miss 10 games due to injury. Makela, 36 points in 65 games before he went down to injury. And Leo Benak, bottom sixer, 35 points. Very, very good. Very, very good. That right side, Owen Sador, pretty disappointing season for him compared to what he did last year. It's his lowest scoring season since his rookie year, but also his shooting percentage is the lowest it's ever been at the NHL level, and LOL Connor Bedard. Clapperton, Matt Michkov, who? Those are Michkov numbers from Gordie Clapperton, and he's good defensively. Matt Michkov, who? 63 takeaways as well to just 49 giveaways. 246 hits for Sador, by the way. He's a monster. Weeks with 38 points, and Coleman as a rookie with 30. Very, very good. And again, we know all 3 of these guys are defensively responsible. It's awesome. On defense, Cam York, 118 points, a plus 81. Do you think he enjoyed life with Connor Bedard? I do. Evan Bouchard with an insane season. And then our deadline pickup of Lucas Colborne had 15 points in 18 games and was a plus 20, while Thomas Chabot happened to put up 10 points in 18 games and was a plus 16 compared to being a minus 21 in Boston. Ling didn't deserve to be scratched. Actually wasn't. That's right. He wasn't the one to get scratched. 81 games played and 31 points. Again, he played 4th line time due to the injury. Roloff didn't deserve to be scratched, but it was the right choice. And then Hartman, again, his deal's up at the end of the year. I don't know what to do because we can't pay this guy a boatload of money, but the physicality he brings is fucking awesome. 185 hits on the season, 90 blocks, only 24 takeaways, though, to 60 giveaways, but 6 fights. So we'll have to see. Colborne always a leaf at the deadline. It works out. Our starter in the playoffs, at least for game 1, Jan Bartovic with Backstrom as the backup. Somebody has to be able to stop a puck in the playoffs, please. Please, please, please. As Cam York led the league in points, only Hughes and Matthews broke the 100-point mark, which is insane. Goal-scoring king was Austin Matthews with 69, his first season without Connor Bedard since joining the Coyotes. Bedard was the guy right behind him on 66. And then Connor McDavid, remember him? 37 years old now. 1,838 points. Outrageous. We will look at the record book as well in a moment. We haven't looked at it yet. Defensively, Cam York's obviously going to win the Norris for the 5th time in 6 years. Something like that. 4th time with us. Obviously, Owen Power was great too. The Hughes brothers are there. Top goal scorer was Dahlin with 32. We almost picked him up as well at the draft. And then, 102 assists for Cam York. Winningest goaltender, Sebastian Cossa of Detroit. No surprise. Shutout leader was Cossa. And save percentage king, Sebastian Cossa. So he's insane. He's insane. Rookie-wise, Zach Mitchell of the Montreal Canadiens is going to win the Calder. Fair enough. Funny, take it easy, by the way. By the way, just 6 penalty minutes for Cam York this year. It's insane. They're just so consistently on the ice. Would I consider moving for Cossa? I mean, if he knocks us out of the playoffs, I might have to, but we beat him last year in 5 games. So record book-wise. Excuse me? I mean, they had the careers. There we go. So Alex Ovechkin topped the NHL in most games played. For a goalie, it was Fleury, Vassey's up there. Most goals, Alex Ovechkin. Austin Matthews is hot on his tail. Matthews is right there. McDavid is number 5. Even David Pastrnak passed Wayne Gretzky. Ovi broke 1,000. I don't even know if Ovi's retired. I don't think Ovi has retired. I think he was an active player this year. If I'm not mistaken, he still hasn't retired. Okay, never mind. Just search for 5,000 results. Fuck you too. Like 50. Well, when did he retire? Well, yeah, Crosby retired. Okay, so yeah, he is gone. Never mind, you're right. He would be like 50. I think he retired the same year Crosby retired. That makes sense. I could have sworn, though, we had fewer goals than that the last time we looked. All-time points, Crosby 2nd behind Wayne. And Ovechkin finished his career in 5th. Assists, it's Gretzky. Crosby actually passed Ray Bourque, which is crazy. And for goalie wins, Fleury finished 2nd. Still 100 behind Martin Brodeur. Shutouts, Fleury 5th. 50 goal seasons, 11 for Ovi. Pasta with 9. Matthews now has 8. 100-point seasons. McDavid's up there with 8. That's nuts. And then franchise leaders we'll check at the very end. At least for us, though. I mean, obviously, yeah, points in the season. It's Cam York. At least for current. None of our records were broken outside of Morgan Riley with the all-time games. So, none of those were broken. So we know it'll be the Pittsburgh Penguins in round 1. 128 points to 87, a 41-point gap, which I still believe is not as much as the Bruins and Panthers from this year, which is insane. 20 more wins than them, man. We gotta do this. Please. This has to be the year, right? It has to be.